Man, what a week, dude. Like, honestly, it's hard to imagine back in 2017, back in January, when I watched the president, now President Trump, give his inauguration speech talking about American carnage, talking about death and destruction everywhere and how it was going to stop and he was going to bring order to the world. He was going to take the bad economy and make it good. He was going to rebuild the military. He was going to instill respect in America, and he was going to instill respect in the world. Here we are. It's 2020, right? It's a pandemic. They were late to their response. People are dead. People are protesting in the streets and being shot with pepper spray, being shot with rubber bullets, being pushed down and beaten. It's all on film. It's not as if this is some sort of, quickly edited video to make it look bad. Everything in context is there, live, happening. And there are people out there, my people, Republicans, conservatives, neoconservatives, center-right, not liberals, people who aren't woke, whatever you want to say, who just stand there and act like this is all fine, right? Like, oh, the unemployment rate dropped to 13%. That's great. Everything's back to normal now. No, it's not, right? The same president who was bragging about a 4% unemployment rate, saying that a 15% unemployment rate was out of his control and nothing he could do about it, is now claiming credit for 2.5 million jobs of people just going back to work because of the pandemic, right? It's still a 13% unemployment rate. It's still the worst it's been since the 30s, right? And nothing he's done is helping to inspire confidence at all. Why would you gas peaceful protesters with tear gas and then lie about it to make a promo video? And why would you hold the Bible upside down in front of a church, right? Like, the man clearly knows how to do a photo op, and he can't even do that right. Because everything is just rushed and frantic and nobody cares, right? People who have fought in this country, people who have fought for America, who have taken bullets, who have stood in the line of fire, who have had to deal with this nonsense for the last 3 years are speaking up. And I'm amazed at the people who, plenty of people I don't know, but many that I do, many who know way better than they should, to go out there and say that people like Mattis and Kelly, these are the weak guys. These are the cooks. These are the people that got fired. But Donald Trump, the guy who avoided military service and responsibility and steals money and attacks women and uses taxpayer dollars to enrich himself, this guy is the epitome of what we want to be, right? These other men who have dedicated their lives to defending this country, to help build the military tradition that we've had since World War II of a peaceful nation, peace through strength, is insanity, right? And I know some of it is people just trolling for the hell of it. They don't believe what they're saying. They just want to get a rise out of people. And there are people who actually believe it. And frankly, I feel like they're lost, right? If you can believe a bunch of nonsense conspiracy theories connected in whatever crazy way you can imagine, I don't think I can help you, right? If you think QAnon is real and that this is something you should listen to, then I'm sorry, right? I'm not here for you anymore. And the problem, and I want to let those people know, is that you think that Trump being in office now means that the majority of the world agrees with you, but you're wrong, right? This is the thing I don't think anybody seems to understand, is that when Donald Trump was elected president, it wasn't a rejection of everything else that had been done for the last 20 years. This was Donald Trump getting a good hand and winning basically by chance. And when given the opportunity to actually do something, he just scatterbrained, fought, was divisive, didn't bring anything on, didn't ever actually help anybody. And even for Republicans who claim that he won because we couldn't beat Obama, what have we won, right? The House of Representatives is gone. The Senate is on the verge of being gone. State houses and governorships and the democratic machine that many people have spent years fighting now has more ground than it ever did before, right? Reasonable people are being shut out for idiots who suck up to a man who is more narcissistic than anyone I think I've ever seen in my entire life, right? Everyone likes to make fun of us and say we say things like Orange Man bad. Well, yeah, Orange Man is bad. Orange Man is a terrible man. Orange Man will assault your wife and daughter, and some people would cheer it on to say that's owning the libs when it's their own family. And you might think that's an exaggeration, but it's not. There are literally people who would let that happen if they thought it would help Donald Trump, because their identity is attached to a man who does not care about them at all, who literally, if he saw them dying on the street, would walk over, or better yet, probably just have the police beat you out of the way so that he can do something for 10 minutes. That man doesn't care about you. And it's sad to see so many people go through so much effort and time and burn bridges with their family and burn all of their credibility for this momentary, thrill of attacking us, the people who have been concerned about this since day one, the people who just think that maybe personal character actually matters in a form of leadership, right? Where have you all gone? Where are you people? I know you're there. I know I get text messages and Facebook messages and direct messages on Twitter and Instagram from other Republicans who very publicly defend the president and then very privately express frustrations with everything about it. But God help them if they were ever to say anything about it, because they would lose their standing in the party. I have to wait out the crazies. I have to wait out the Trump presidency. Well, how much longer do you want to wait? How much? How many more kids in cages is it going to take for you to actually say that this is a problem? How many more trillions of dollars of debt have to be added to our nation's, already massive now going to be $25 trillion debt so that Trump can feel comfortable wherever he decides to go? How is it okay to have someone lie to you consistently and then just defend them because you don't like the other people that are attacking him, right? And the people who are not explicitly defending Trump but attacking all of his critics are some of the worst ones out there, because they know what they're doing. They know damn well that they are trying to maximize and game theory their way through this, thinking that if Donald Trump loses in November in 2020, this year, they'll be like, well, actually, I was never really on his side in the first place. You'll see that I never actually defended Trump. I just attacked the leftist because that's what I do. And it's like, really, right? If you can't attack someone in your own political party, what makes you think that you're going to have their back later on, right? And you know what? There's many Republicans out there who they fell in line. They may not like it, but they're going to vote Republican because that's what they do. And you know what? They may not like Joe Biden, right? But guess what? A lot of people do. Way more people like Joe Biden than Hillary Clinton, and way more people like him than Donald Trump. Many Republicans that conservatives who have spent years building the party platform and the apparatus that Trump took advantage of to win the presidency, these same people know that without them, without the 10 or 15% of do-nothing never-Trumpers that apparently are on respirators but also a serious threat, can swing the election against him, right? And we'll remember what was said. The tweets are there, right? The context is all there when you had the ability to stand up for what was right and you said, no, I'm going to hide behind the veil of the presidency and hide behind the veil of attacking the left. Because if I were to admit that the president was a bad human being who's bad at his job, right, that would make me look bad. Because for some reason I've decided that my identity, in terms of my politics and my aspirations for the national office, are tied to a man who literally doesn't care about anything except himself, right? And it's sad, right? It's sad to see otherwise intelligent people give themselves up to somebody who does not care about them. And we've all seen it. We've seen friends and family members and people we know hang around bad people who take and take and take and never give and never apologize and would never ever help them if it ever would cause them an inconvenience. That's who is the president of the United States, right? You can hate Obama, you can hate Bush, you can hate Clinton to a certain extent as well. But at least the last two presidents, they were good people, right? They were good Christian family men. You may not agree with what they said, but they believed in this country. They believed in moral values, and they believed that at least at some point you should set an example when you're in a position of authority, right? But what we have now is an impetulant man-child who cares only about himself and other sad, pathetic losers who see themselves in the president and decided that if I implement that behavior, I must also be successful. Again, not knowing that Donald Trump wasn't even a Republican till 2015, right? That he's just said whatever, whenever he feels like, whatever the advantage takes it. People who know damn well what he's done and what he's been accused of doing just blatantly ignore it, right? And they've twisted their own ideologies against them. People used to be pro-free trade. People used to be restraint and personal responsibility and civic engagement. And now these same people say that this is all garbage, right? Why? Because you've been losing? Because the American public doesn't agree with your arguments? Then the problem isn't them, the problem is you. If you lose the argument, it's not because the system is rigged against you. It's because you made a bad argument. You made a bad argument. You went to the free market of ideas and people said, I'm not buying it, it's garbage. And if you want to blame everybody else, that's fine. See how long that lasts you in the private sector. See how long that lasts you in life, when you basically blame everyone and take no personal responsibility. And sure, President Trump is the president. Sure, he's gotten this far in life and seems to have avoided all accountability. Why not just ride it out, right? I don't care what happens in the world. I don't care about the future I leave behind. I want to see people angry because I'm secure in my place. I'll never be the victim of police brutality. I'll never be the victim of a government that wants to come after me because the political system will never change, apparently, except for the part where that's exactly what happens every time. The same people who want to give Donald Trump the power to break into their houses, be taken at gunpoint, all of a sudden are also afraid of wearing masks because they think it's a violation of their constitutional rights, but are more than willing to say that Trump has the right to send troops out to crack people's skulls when they're peacefully protesting. Like, how do you not see this? How do you not think about this? Where are you gun people at, by the way? Where are you people out there who talk about defending freedom? Why are you not out there defending protesters from police? Is it because you're actually cowards? It's because when push comes to shove, your precious civilian AR-15 won't do anything compared to a SWAT team or a National Guard unit who will take you down in minutes because they're actual soldiers and you're not. You just wear camouflage and do cosplay on the weekends and act tough. We know who those people are. I deal with them all the time, right? They're weak men who act tough behind a screen. Guess what? If they were actually tough, they'd be out there defending their fellow citizens, but they're not. They're at home saying good riddance, hit them harder, and let's keep supporting Trump. Because you know what? I don't care about America. I don't care about my family, other people's families. I care about making other people angry because I'm angry. Because maybe my life didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Maybe the political candidates that I've supported have never won. Maybe I'm just blaming everybody else, and you know what? Donald Trump is my way of saying F you to the world and F you to everybody else. And you know what? I don't care. And you know what? That's your right to do so. You have a constitutional right to be a dumbass. As big of a dumbass as you want, as long as it doesn't infringe on my rights. But guess what? Now we have a problem. Now there's riots in the streets. Now we have a pandemic that's out of control and people are scared to walk outside and go anywhere. We have a crisis of confidence in the White House that we need for not just American stability, but world stability, right? And you know what? The American people made a choice, and this is what happens, right? And the American people have another choice to make this November in 2020. So this will be my attempt to tell you that I, Steve Anderson, the Republican, person who worked on Republican campaigns, who helped try to get Governor Rauner reelected in 2018, the person who voted in the Republican primary this year and supported Bill Weld, the Republican challenger to President Trump, I'm voting for Joe Biden in 2020. You know what? It is what it is. I'm voting for Joe Biden. He's a better human being and a better person than Donald Trump. And you know what? He's old, and he's got it. And if you want to make fun of him because he has a stutter, that's on you, because you're a terrible person. You may not agree with what he has to say, and there's plenty of people on the left who will throw all sorts of nonsense out there and act like it's everyone else's fault Bernie Sanders lost. Turns out Bernie Sanders was only popular because Hillary Clinton was so unpopular. When push came to shove, all of those Bernie people, sorry, no offense if you're out there and you're watching, but guess what? Biden got picked overwhelmingly. You know why? He's a good person. He's a good person who actually cares about somebody, and if you were dying in the street, he would actually help you. Donald Trump would not. If you want to elect a president who would let you die in the street, then that's your right to do so, but just know that everyone else has the right to vote for somebody else. And by all indications everywhere, they will, right? And I highly encourage everybody to vote for Joe Biden, right? Not even necessarily third party, which I did in 2016. If you want to, again, that's your right to do so. Highly agree. That's fine. But Joe Biden is definitely better than Hillary Clinton. And if you're a Republican, you guys know that. All of you know that, and you're not saying it, but all of you know that that's a fact, right? And feel free to just criticize me or tell me I'm wrong, even though all the facts in the world tell me I'm right. And feel free to just, throw up some nonsense from the Federalist or American Greatness or whatever Trump garbage dumpster fire bin you find online to reinforce your already negative worldview. That's on you. Go ahead. But you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of riots. I'm tired of the pandemic. I'm tired of this guy going on TV every day and just acting like the whole world is out to get him when he's had every opportunity in life to be successful, right? And he encourages every other lazy, selfish person who feels entitled to act the same way. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of this guy, and I'm sick of people who believe that if their opinion is questioned, that they have the right to attack you, to attack anybody else, because their precious worldview is more important than what's actually happening. Okay? I'm done. I'm done with these people, right? If the Republican Party doesn't reject Trump in 2020, the Republican Party will no longer exist, right? It will be destroyed from the inside, and it will be decimated everywhere we go. There's not even a chance, there's a chance it may not survive if Trump loses, right? There are rumblings everywhere about Republicans wanting to start a new movement, one that goes back to the roots of what this party actually stood for, right? The Lincoln movement. The Republicans who helped participate in Reconstruction, the Roosevelts, the Coolidge, the Reagans, the people who believed that government had a place, limited, constitutional, an emphasis on free markets and fairness. Fairness for equality of opportunity, right? These are the things that we believe in, and these are the things that have made America successful. Trump doesn't believe these things. Trump doesn't care about any of this stuff. Trump is just doing what he thinks is best for him at all times. That's who he is. He's an animal, acting on instinct, lashing out at whatever he doesn't like, surrounded by lackeys and opportunists who would just love the ability to suck taxpayer dollars as long as they humanly can. It's sick. It's sickening. I am voting for Joe Biden, the Democrat, and I highly encourage you to do so as well. Tell your friends to vote for Joe Biden, because you know what? He's better than Trump. He's on the ballot in 50 states. And clearly, he has the basic competence to run an organization that Donald Trump has never had, ever. It's not even a question. It's not even a serious debate as to who is more competent. For all of Joe Biden's faults, the sheer fact alone that he can actually care about another human being that's not himself makes him more qualified for this office than Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump needs to be removed from office, and he needs to deal with all of his problems, all of the tax fraud, all of the crimes he's committed. He needs to deal with it, And he no longer needs to have the U.S. government subsidize his lifestyle. In November of 2020, vote for Joe Biden. Because America needs a break. America needs some normalcy. America needs somebody who won't dominate the headlines every day by saying nonsense and lies and self-serving platitudes, right? America needs Joe Biden to be president. And I'm telling you right now, as a Republican, I'm going to do everything in my power to get him elected. That may cause some concern with other Republicans out there, and I'll say, hey, why don't you just talk about what we talk about in private and public? Why don't you just tell them how you actually feel, instead of just hiding behind the veil and pretending that, you know, we're not going to snitch on you, right? I'm not a snitch. I'm not going to do your dirty work for you and leak what you have to say about the president. You're more than welcome to do that. You're more than welcome to actually stand up for yourself, but you're afraid of what he's going to say. You're afraid of his tweets, and you're afraid of his robot supporters and Russian troll farms who will come after you. And you're afraid you're going to have to let crazy people tell you crazy things, and you're going to have to be polite and listen to it. You don't have to. Tell them it's nonsense. Tell them it's bullshit. Tell them they're wrong and they're full of shit. That's what you have to do. You have to be blunt, you have to be aggressive, and you have to tell them to fuck off, and they're wrong. And their candidate is a bad human being who is hurting America, right? He is hurting the greatest country on earth, right? He needs to go. And any self-respecting Republican who cares about the Constitution and the rule of law should know that there's only one option we have left. You know, we'll deal with what happens when Joe Biden is in office. We'll figure out what we want to do in terms of restructuring the Republican Party and what that means. But the first step is getting rid of Trump and his cronies and reminding everybody who the collaborators were in the Republican Party, who sold out for a temporary glimpse of power, who sold out just so they could have a little bit of moment in the sun and then be tossed like garbage when they were no longer needed, who to this day still defend the president, despite having him piss all over them, essentially, and then saying, thank you, sir, may I have another? It's sick. It's sick. Grow up. America needs leadership, and America needs Joe Biden to be president. Sorry, getting that off my chest. Hope everyone's staying safe. Take care.